Hello, and welcome. Before we begin, let's face one truth that no one talks about enough. Overthinking is quiet, but it's dangerous. It doesn't yell like stress or panic. It doesn't show up like a broken bone. But slowly, silently, it steals your confidence, your peace, and your future. And here's the worst part. You might not even realize it's happening. You might think you're just being careful. You're analyzing, preparing, trying to be smart. But deep inside, you're stuck, frozen, lost in a spiral of what-ifs and self-doubt. Now, imagine this. You want to speak English. You've studied the grammar, you know the words, but when it's time to speak, you freeze. You think, what if I say it wrong? What if they laugh at my accent? What if I embarrass myself? So you stay silent. Another chance passes. Another day without progress. Another win for overthinking. This video isn't just about language. It's about life. It's about taking back control, not just of your English, but of your mind. If you've ever felt stuck in your thoughts, unsure of yourself, too scared to take the first step, this is for you. Let's begin. Overthinking is not just a habit, it's a defense mechanism. Your brain thinks it's helping you, keeping you safe, protecting you from failure or embarrassment. But when it comes to learning English, this protection becomes a prison. You're not afraid of the language, you're afraid of being judged, afraid of making mistakes, afraid of not being perfect. And that fear, quiet but powerful, keeps you from even trying. Maybe you felt it. You sit in class or watch a video. You understand everything. You nod, you take notes, you smile. But then someone says, "Okay, your turn. Say something in English." And suddenly your heart races, your palms sweat, your brain freezes. The words you know vanish, and the only thing left is panic. So you say nothing. You give a small smile. Maybe you shake your head. You tell yourself, "Next time." But the truth is, you've told yourself that many times before. Overthinking when learning English isn't about laziness, it's about fear dressed as logic. You think, "I just want to get it right." But what you really mean is, "I don't want to get it wrong." That's the difference. That's the trap. And the more you fall into it, the more your confidence fades. But here's the truth your mind won't tell you. You don't need to be perfect to speak. You just need to be brave enough to begin. Fluency doesn't come from thinking more. It comes from speaking more, failing more, trying more. Overthinking is the enemy of learning, and every time you let it win, you lose a moment of growth. Overthinking doesn't always scream. It whispers, quietly, repeatedly. And if you don't stop it, it becomes your normal. You don't even notice how much it's stealing from you until you look back and realize how many chances you missed, how many words you didn't say, how many dreams you slowly let fade away. When you overthink, you don't just hesitate, you freeze. You sit with your phone in your hand, wanting to message someone in English, but rewriting the sentence 5 times. You join a speaking club, but stay silent, telling yourself, "Just listen today." You record yourself speaking, then delete it because your voice doesn't sound good. You keep waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect sentence, the perfect version of yourself. And while you wait, your progress stops. Overthinking doesn't just slow you down, it drains your energy. You feel tired even though you haven't done anything. You feel anxious even though nothing went wrong. You lie in bed replaying conversations, judging yourself for how you spoke. And slowly, your motivation fades. Your confidence disappears. Your joy for learning turns into pressure. And the worst part is, you blame yourself. But this isn't your fault. It's what overthinking does. It turns learners into prisoners. But now that you can see it, you can break free. Because your English doesn't need more grammar, it needs more courage. Let's start with a truth most people never hear. Not every thought you have is true. Your mind can lie to you. Not because it's evil, but because it wants to protect you, even when you're not in danger. You see, your brain was not designed to make you happy. It was designed to keep you safe. That's why it looks for problems, even when there aren't any. It imagines the worst, prepares for pain, creates fear out of thin air. And when you're learning English, it whispers things like, "They'll laugh at me. I sound stupid. I'll mess up. I'm not good enough." But these aren't facts. They're stories. And just like any story, they can be rewritten. Think about this. You message someone in English. They don't reply. Your brain says, "They're ignoring me. I said something wrong. They think I'm dumb." But maybe, just maybe, they were busy. They were tired. They were offline. The truth is, you don't know, but your mind makes you feel like you do.
And that's how overthinking wins. It builds a world that isn't real and traps you inside it. So here's your first key to freedom. Don't believe everything you think. Just because a thought feels strong doesn't mean it's true. Just because you feel fear doesn't mean there's danger. Your thoughts are like clouds. They pass. But who you are beneath them, that's solid. That's real. And once you stop trusting every lie your brain tells you, you'll start taking your power back, one word, one sentence, one step at a time. Your brain is like a cup. It can only hold so much before it overflows. Thought after thought, worry after worry, question after question, they pile up until you can't breathe. You feel heavy, but you can't explain why. You feel tired, but you haven't done anything. That's not weakness. That's your mind trying to carry too much. And when your brain gets full, your words get stuck. Your confidence disappears. That's why you need to let it out on paper, not for anyone else, just for you. Take a notebook, grab a pen, write down everything you're thinking, not in perfect English, not with correct grammar, just the truth. I'm scared. I don't feel good enough. I don't want to fail. Let it all come out, because what feels huge in your head becomes smaller on the page. The thoughts that scream inside your mind go quiet when you see them in front of you. It's not magic, it's release. This is more than journaling. It's survival. It's how you make space to breathe again. When you write, you remind yourself that you're not your thoughts. You are the one who notices them. And that small shift from thinking to observing can change everything. It turns chaos into clarity. It turns fear into focus. And most importantly, it gives your English a place to grow, not in silence, but in freedom. Overthinking loves stillness. It grows in silence. It waits for you to sit there, trapped inside your mind, playing the same worries on repeat. But the moment you move, even just a little, the spell breaks. You don't have to be fearless. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to do one small thing, because action doesn't wait for confidence. Action creates confidence. Imagine this. You want to practice speaking English, but your mind is full of fear. What if I say something wrong? What if they don't understand me? What if I embarrass myself? So you wait, you plan, you prepare, and you do nothing. But what if, instead, you just said one sentence out loud? Just one. Not perfect, not polished, just real. You say, "Hello, how are you today?" You record it on your phone, you listen. You survive. And in that moment, something shifts. You didn't just think, you acted. And that tiny step becomes proof. I can do this. That's the power of movement. It breaks the illusion that you're not ready. Because the truth is, you'll never feel ready. Fear will always give you a reason to delay. But you don't need more reasons. You need more motion. So take the step, any step. Say one sentence, open your book, send the message, because even the smallest action is louder than the loudest fear. The longer you wait, the louder your thoughts become. That's the secret overthinking doesn't want you to know. You start with one simple decision. Should I join that English class or not? And then your brain explodes into 100 questions. What if it's too hard? What if I can't keep up? What if I waste my time? What if people judge me? Hours pass. Days pass. The opportunity disappears. And you're left exactly where you were, now with more doubt than before. Overthinking feeds on delay. It grows stronger every minute you spend waiting for the perfect answer. But peace doesn't come from the perfect answer. It comes from choosing, from deciding, from moving forward. So here's the shift. Give yourself a deadline. 10 minutes. That's it. You ask, is this choice helping me grow? What's the worst that could happen? Then you decide, not next week, not tomorrow, now. Because even if you choose the wrong thing, you'll learn, you'll adjust. But if you choose nothing, you'll only stay stuck. Time doesn't always bring clarity. Sometimes it only brings more fear. So choose quickly and trust yourself. A fast decision made in faith is better than a perfect one made in fear. Overthinking begins when you try to control things that aren't yours to control. You send a message in English and they don't reply. Now your mind spins. Are they ignoring me? Did I make a mistake? Should I say something else? What are they thinking about me? You want to fix it. You want to know for sure. But you can't. Because the truth is, you don't control their reaction. You never did. And that's where the suffering begins, when your mind reaches outside of your power. It tries to shape the future. It tries to rewrite the past. It tries to manage everyone's opinion. But you're only human, and peace doesn't come from holding the whole world in your hands.
Peace comes when you learn to let go of what isn't yours. So here's your anchor. Come back to what you can control. Your breath, your effort, your practice, your words, your response. Focus there. That's where your strength lives. You can't control whether someone understands your English, but you can keep learning. You can't control if someone likes you, but you can speak your truth. The rest, let it go. If it's outside your control, it's outside your stress. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. One of the biggest traps of overthinking is the constant need to be liked. You say something in English, then you replay it 100 times in your head. Did I sound stupid? Did they judge my accent? Did I say something wrong? And suddenly, you're no longer learning, you're performing. You're not expressing yourself, you're trying to impress. And that pressure, it crushes you. We all want to feel accepted, to be understood, to belong. But here's the truth that sets you free. Not everyone will like you, and that's okay. Even if you speak perfect English, even if you smile at the right moment, even if you try your hardest, some people won't get you. And they're not supposed to. That's not your failure. That's just life. The more you chase approval, the more you lose yourself. You change your voice, you hold back your ideas, you stay quiet when you have something to say, and over time, your confidence disappears. Not because you weren't good enough, but because you kept trying to be someone else. But the moment you stop asking, do they like me, and start asking, do I like who I'm becoming, that's when everything changes. That's when you speak freely. That's when your English becomes a voice, not a mask. You weren't born to please everyone. You were born to be real. So here we are. You've seen it clearly now. How overthinking sneaks in, how it holds you back, how it steals your voice before you even get the chance to speak. But this moment is different, because now you understand. Overthinking isn't strength, it's fear in disguise. And the only way out is through action. Imperfect, honest, courageous action. You don't have to be ready. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need to sound like a native speaker. You just need to start. One word, one sentence, one tiny decision to show up exactly as you are. That's how real progress begins. Not with perfection, but with presence. Not with flawless sentences, but with the courage to speak even when your voice shakes. So today, don't wait for the right moment. Don't wait to feel fearless. That moment may never come, but this one, right here, right now, is yours. Say one thing out loud in English. Write one comment. Make one tiny move. Because every step you take silences the doubt just a little more. And that's how fluency begins. That's how confidence is built, not in your thoughts, but in your actions. So take the step. Speak. Begin. You're ready, exactly as you are.